Hello, everyone. Welcome back to
Hi.
this motorsport channel that has no name. How's everyone doing today? We are the nameless.
By the next time we see you all, I promise we will have a name, or we will have some names we're thinking about.
But it's all good. It's all good. It's COTA weekend. How you feeling?
Oh, this weekend has been a lot. I feel like it's been a lot. I feel like
Mm.
had a busy weekend, and then it's been a busy Grand Prix weekend, and I just feel like my emotions have been going like up and down the place.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a crazy weekend. I'm rocking my colors, everyone. See, I give them. I rock a Ferrari today. I rock a Ferrari today.
Well, it's not a bad weekend to rock Ferrari, to be honest. Not too bad.
Not a bad weekend at all. Not a bad weekend at all. Yeah, it's been a very busy motorsports weekend for me. Like I said, I
Hmm.
watch everything. So I've been up
Hmm.
since I went to bed at 7 this morning
Oh God.
because I wanted to watch the MotoGP race
MotoGP.
in Australia. Phillip Island. Phillip Island is the best is probably the best circuit on the
Oh
calendar.
wow.
So I wanted to watch that. I wanted to watch it live. And then
Hmm.
I've watched the season finale of the WSBK, the World Superbikes. That finished about an hour ago. So I went to bed at 7 a.m., woke up at
How
noon.
are you doing it?
30 plus years of doing this. And I want to watch the races live. I want to catch them live.
Mm,
So I've seen
yeah.
MotoGP, truly amazing race. There was no Mark Marquez, so there was all to play for. You know how
Mhm.
when Mark is on the grid on the Ducati, you sort of know how it's going to end. There was
Why
no Mark
wasn't he on the
Marquez
grid?
today. He injured his shoulder 2 weeks ago.
All
Uh,
right.
Random crash, injured his shoulder. That's the topic for another day. I mean, so injured
Okay.
his shoulder, he wasn't there, and he chose to take a time to rest. No one's gonna blame him after everything he's been through. So wide open race weekend. Ducatis were struggling. So I mean, it was good. Raul Fernandez won his first race. He's been on the grid for
Nice.
first race. There were two Aprilias on the podium. Amazing. I watched WSBK. My man Toprak has won world championship, third championship. So it's been good. I'm looking forward to watching COTA. I'm going to confess now. I'm going to confess. I did not watch the sprint race yesterday. I watched clips of the sprint race, but I
Okay.
was too busy live things. I was watching. It was playing in the background, but I was
Okay.
too busy doing live. I saw clippets of it. Sorry, snippets.
Yeah.
Snippets
So
and
we're
clips.
on the same
So
page then. We're on the same page.
yeah.
I'm having a busy weekend. I wasn't able to watch the sprint. I will watch the replay, but Sky Sports haven't shown it yet.
Mm,
But I did watch the highlights, and I watched qualifiers, and I watched sprint qualifiers. So there's still like a lot to
mm.
talk about. And I
Yeah, it's a
think,
lot.
to be honest, if you watch the highlights of the sprint, then I think you've seen it all.
Like papaya rules. Papaya rules.
I do not know what's going on. So should we start? Should we start with the
Yes, this
let's
is
just
going. Let's just get
start.
into it. Let's just
Let's
get
start
into
with
it. Yeah.
McLaren. Let's start with McLaren.
As in, what is going on with those guys? Last
It's
weekend, I mean, last race weekend, it was Piastri saying, "How can Lando do that to me? Make him give the place back, and all
and
that."
so okay, so we had the pre-race interviews, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Following last week, Lando and Piastri in their separate interviews, they say, they've reviewed everything and there will be repercussions for Lando. I don't
Mm,
believe Lando did anything wrong, but it seems like the team, including Lando, has accepted that there was something he did and there'll be repercussions. We don't know what those repercussions are. But then we go into the first lap of the sprint, and then what happens? I don't know what happens. I've watched it so many times. I still don't know who was at fault, but they're both out, basically. They were both out of the
mm.
sprint, right? Um, I don't know. Where are these papaya rules? I don't know. What's going on? Please
So
tell me.
I actually think, I think somebody ran into Oscar from behind. I think one of the
Nico,
Aston
I
Martins.
hear.
I hear someone ran into him from behind. I've seen the things. Even I'm confused. I've tried to find the videos, the clips, the
Mm-hmm.
highlights, and I think one of the Aston Martins ran into Oscar from behind, or ran
Okay.
into somebody who ran into someone who ran into Oscar,
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of totally threw him. There will be repercussions. There will be repercussions of some kind. But you know, what is a racing incident and what is not a racing incident? If somebody runs into me from the back, but
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is Oscar was also not well placed going into that particular corner. I think he was already wrong footed, and I think so. If you're already in the wrong place, if you've already mistimed
Mm-hmm.
your braking, and somebody runs into you from behind, then it's more likely contributory. Do you understand? So I don't think it's
Yeah,
really innocent of that
exactly.
thing, but painful. And then if you're doing anything, you have Max. The last thing you want to do is give Max. Max is a shark, right? The last thing you want to give Max is a chance that he can get the championship from you guys
Mm-hmm.
because you guys are busy faffing around. And it's unfortunate they both didn't score points. The rules of F1 are very clear. Do not run into your teammate. And if you must run into your teammate, do not take your teammate out. And if you're going to take your teammate out, do not take both of you out.
I mean, it
Every
doesn't.
single cardinal rule. It doesn't get worse than that, right?
It doesn't get any worse. I think for me, what's crucial is the fact that we have Oscar, we have Lando, who seem to be fighting, but we
Mm-hmm.
have Max, who, I mean, a couple of races ago, I would have said there's no way he can win the championship, but now he's right behind. He's right behind Lando. I think he was. So Max is about 63 points. Well, before the sprint, I think he was about 63 points behind Piastri. So there's a real
Yeah.
risk, right? That this guy that we thought was not going to win the championship. I feel like it all depends on McLaren because if
Uh-huh.
they continue as is, then I think he's got it. And he's on pole position for the race tomorrow. And for today, sorry.
For today. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. It's a
So
lot.
are you saying that you don't think Max has a chance, or you say you think he has a chance? What are you saying?
I think he has a real good chance now. I think he has a real good chance. Um, yeah, I mean Piastri is not performed. He hasn't performed great at Austin, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the
Mm-hmm.
qualifiers, I think he's sixth or seventh on the grid
Mm-hmm.
for today.
Mm-hmm. Seventh, I
And
think.
he's got some good people in front of him, right? That he needs to
Mm-hmm.
overtake. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Max has a good chance. Am I happy about it? No. But I'm also a little bit happy that McLaren aren't having it as easy as they thought they would.
Yeah. You know why I'm laughing, right? It has something to do with the t-shirt I'm wearing.
Okay.
So in 2007, Lewis Hamilton's debut season,
Mhm.
the McLarens were faster than everybody else. These same McLarens were faster than everybody else. And it was Alonso's debut season for McLaren. It was Lewis Hamilton's debut season as an F1 driver.
Okay.
And they had the fastest package. They were going to run away with the title. And they kept bumping each other and taking each other out and competing. And the team did not impose team orders. This was back when Ron Dennis was CEO of it, was team principal. So they
Okay.
never imposed team orders. McLaren's ethos is we race. We're racers first
Mm.
and foremost. We don't impose team orders. We race. I have 3 words for you: Kimi, Raikkonen, Ferrari. All right. 1
Mhm.
point. 1 point. 1 point. Kimi came from absolutely nowhere and got the title in the last race of the season by
Oh.
1 point. And so when you were talking about Max, my brain was like, the Iceman wants to have a word. Wants to have a word with you. And you know what? It would be a shame. It would be a crying shame if McLaren do not get their act together and they allow Max to run away with this one. It would be a shame because they
I
had
will.
each of their drivers has one hand on that title. But you know, it's a struggle. Like, how do you strike a balance? Who do you give? If you're McLaren, you have a real challenge on your hands. Do you back Oscar now, or do you back Lando? What do you do? Do you impose team orders?
The, I see where McLaren are coming from,
Mm-hmm,
right? They have two number one drivers.
mm-hmm,
However, for me, it is clear who McLaren's favorite is. And I think it's Lando. And I don't think they will ever say that, but I think if you watch it, I just feel like it's clearly Lando, right? Or maybe I should say Zach's favorite is Lando. And that
okay.
just, but I don't think it works. And I think we are seeing that it doesn't necessarily work, right?
Mm-hmm,
Especially because two of their drivers currently are fighting for the championship. Um,
mm,
and I also feel like it's even more trickier because now they've won the Constructors' Cup, right? And so if they take the mode of let these drivers race, I
mm-hmm,
think there will be issues. And I think we will see more issues in the upcoming races.
mm. Interesting. I don't. Why do you think Lando is Zach's favorite?
I think he's Zach's baby.
Sorry to put you on the
I don't
spot,
know.
but come on.
No, it's just I don't know. I think he's Zach's baby. I think it's just you know, ask me to spot one thing. I don't know. I don't know what I would say. Look at last weekend. I think it was last week when they were celebrating the Constructors' Cup, and there was that whole thing where Oscar was nowhere to be found. Or I think they ended up saying he had to do some briefing or something like that. But they were celebrating it, and Lando. It was only Lando that was there. I think Oscar was somewhere else, and they came up with some
Mm.
excuse. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just from what I see. I can't say any specific thing. I don't know. I'll probably have to think about it. But yeah.
You know,
And
you're
to be
probably
honest,
right.
I say rightly so though. I mean, Lando has been with the team for how many years now? Um he was with the team when they weren't doing so well. And I think he's kind of built that loyalty as well from
Mm.
Zach.
So you know, I actually think you're onto something here. During the week, there's been this litigation going on involving McLaren's
Yeah.
what's it called? Their efforts in IndyCar in the US.
Yeah.
And Palou, the driver that was contracted to them, had said that he did. I think so. I think he was saying that the team didn't want Piastri or something. That Zach Brown didn't want Piastri. He wanted somebody else.
Yes.
I think he was saying that Zach Brown wanted Palou and not Piastri. So I think you're onto something. I need to do my research. I
Yes.
think you're
I
onto
saw
something
that.
here.
I saw that.
I think you're absolutely onto something. And that maybe Lando is their preferred driver. Lando's been with them longer as well. They've invested
Exactly.
more in Lando, in grooming Lando and getting Lando to where he is now. And I also think that Lando might be the better team player. I remember when what's this guy's name? The honey badger, the Australian guy. What's his name now? Daniel Ricciardo. When he
Ricardo,
won
yeah.
his only race for McLaren.
Hmm.
It was a race that Lando could have pressured him for the win.
Mm,
And I think Lando just said to the team on the radio, he said, I need to hold position right. Something along the lines of,
mm,
let me hold position. And he
mm,
basically offered, without being asked, he said, I think I understand that it's better for the team if I don't challenge Daniel for this win. So I
yeah.
think Lando gives off the vibes of he's more the consummate team player. He's more the one that the team. So I think in terms of raw speed, I think Oscar is actually faster in terms of raw speed. but maybe Lando is the one. And the team, like we said in the last episode, the team has all the telemetry. They have all the data, and they can tell who is better, where, and how.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think maybe so. I think you have a point. So what you're suggesting is that you think that the team would prefer, or that Zach would prefer, for Lando to win this title.
You know, I can't speak for Zach,
Mm-hmm.
but what I believe
Mm-hmm.
is Lando has paid his dues with the team. I think he
Yeah.
deserves and probably deserves a championship, especially if it's going to be one of the McLaren drivers. Oscar might be the better driver in future, the one to, bet against in future. But I think he still has some years ahead of him, right? And I think if there's ever a time that Lando is going to win the championship, I think it's now. And so if as a team we had to invest in one, I would say Lando, especially from a loyalty perspective. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Absolutely fascinating insight. Absolutely fascinating. And I agree with you. I think this is the best year for McLaren to win the title. The rules change next year, I think. And so
Yeah,
this is the best year for them to win the title. No one knows what's going to happen next year.
happen next year.
And Oscar is what, 22 points ahead?
Yeah. Um,
So if I were McLaren and I wanted Lando to win, I would continue to insist on papaya rules.
mm,
Yeah. If I was, yeah, I would insist on papaya rules, and somehow hope that Lando would win this thing. I honestly want Lando to win this. I think
mhm.
he's paid his dues.
Yeah.
He's been the consummate team player, but at the end of the day, Oscar has been the faster driver, the more consistent driver at the beginning of the season.
Consistent. Yeah, I agree. He's been
Mm.
consistent.
And
Lando makes
and
mistakes.
yeah, and today, do you know what? The driver with the better chance. I think if I was McLaren, I'd say, let's see what happens at the end of today's race. Let's see what happens. But the thing is, so much can happen with strategy. You don't have the benefit of using Oscar to block for Lando today. But if Lando can somehow win today's race, then Lando becomes your best bet to take on Seb Vettel. Sorry, to take on Max Verstappen. But is
So
it
let's so
really?
let's so let's ask. I mean,
Mm,
we're running out of time here, but what
yeah.
what 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 are you expecting? What are you expecting from the race today?
Max Verstappen wins the race today. See, Max is a shark. He smells blood and he doesn't let go.
Can I
Max
can I
wins today's
throw
race.
can I throw a
Uh-huh.
spanner in the works there?
Please do. Please do.
Something is like ringing in my mind, right? So
Uh-huh.
after the qualifiers yesterday, Charles Leclerc's given his interview, and Charles Leclerc is he second on the grid. I think he's third. He's third on
Uh-huh.
the grid, right?
Third. Uh-huh.
And he's given his interview, and he said something along the lines of, Norris, the two drivers in front of me, Norris and
Mm-hmm.
Verstappen, are fighting for a championship, but I don't have anything to lose. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna go out there, and at the start we're gonna be aggressive. And
Yeah.
so I am looking forward to the beginning of the race. Um, I think we might see a red flag. I think we definitely will see a yellow flag. But I think there are. Um, it's going to be a tricky one. I think it's going to be a tricky one. I think Charles Leclerc is going to push as hard as possible, which will, to some extent, disrupt Norris and Max at the front.
You know, I don't agree. I just don't. I don't think the Ferraris have the car. I don't think Leclerc has a car underneath him to challenge them.
Hmm.
And Max is the most aggressive starter on the grid. So you have a case where Charles will start directly behind Max. We
Hmm.
know what happens when Max and Lando start side by side. Max
Hmm.
bullies Lando. And so what I
Mm.
see happening is this. What I see happening is Max bullies Lando at the start. Charles and Lando get tangled, and the race is settled from that point on. So while Charles and Lando are fighting for second
Fighting.
place, I think
Max
Max
takes.
just goes off, and that's it. Unless they're able to do something clever with strategy, in which case maybe McLaren sacrifice Oscar's race by putting him on a different strategy, and effectively, if at some point in the race Max finds himself behind Oscar, McLaren then use Oscar to block Max for Lando. I think that
I
is
don't know.
Lando's best chance. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
I
it's going to
don't
be
want
that
Max to win.
simple.
No, I don't want Max to
Okay.
win. No, don't get
Okay.
me wrong.
Yeah.
I want this to be the year when McLaren. I grew up. The first team I ever supported was McLaren,
Okay.
and so I came into my own in F1 being a McLaren fan, and so I would honestly like McLaren driver to win this. I'm somewhat agnostic between Max and between Oscar and Lando. I'm somewhat agnostic. I'm not sure I care
Okay.
who wins, as long as the fastest driver wins or the faster driver wins.
Okay.
But I don't see these guys stopping Max today.
Let me just say, I don't think it's going to be that smooth sailing for Max.
I hope not.
From my perspective, in the sprint, I watched towards the end of the sprint, and there was there was a red flag for a couple of laps and we ended the race. Sorry, a yellow flag, a safety car, and we ended the race in a safety car, right? But just before that, I think we saw Norris picking up pace on Max. And I think Max has said it himself that the car isn't driving, as perfectly as he'd want it to be. And so I think it's one thing for him to have the pace and win the qualifiers,
Right.
but I'm not sure that he has the car to take it. However, how many laps? 50 something laps, right? And I think that is where he would struggle. So I agree that if Charles Leclerc is fighting someone else, I think Lando will be up there and he will be on Max's tail. And remember, the Lando that we know now is not the Lando from last season. I've seen Lando become much more aggressive, whereas Max used to bully him. I don't think that is the Lando. The Lando we have now is not the Lando of before, where Max could bully him. I think he's a stronger and more aggressive driver than he was before, and he has so much to lose, right? So yeah, I'm looking forward to the race. I think. There will be some aggressive and bold power moves, but let's see.
See, I agree. I'm looking forward to it. But I did hear Lando. I read a story, an interview where he said an article where he said the car is not as fast. That the car is not as fast this weekend as it's been in previous weekends. So and I think the Red Bull is also not at its best. Yeah. I think the difference this weekend, as usual, is Max just being able to extract the maximum from the package. Max with the max as usual. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think this is a fantastic thing. If you're watching us, we'd like to appeal for your support. Please like, subscribe, and tell us what you think in the comments. Do you think Temi has a point? Do you think that and who do you think should win this championship? Should it be Lando? Should it be Oscar? Or should it be Max? Let us know in the comments, please. And thank you very much for watching us. So, Temi, your final answer. Who do you think is going to win this race? Your final prediction?
I'm going for Lando. Lando has landed.
Go, Lando. Go, Lando has landed. I'm going with Max reluctantly. I'm going with Max.
Okay. Please drop in the comments who do you think will win the race, and we will be back after the race to discuss.
Thank you very much for watching us.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Good night. Take care. Bye.
Bye.